Hi, I'm Eric LaRue, and this is
Kelly Corrigan.
And we are just doing this brief video at the beginning here because when you watch our webinar, we had a problem with the recording part, and so you're just going to see slides and you're going to listen to the audio, but you're not going to see us throughout the webinar. If you would have watched the webinar live, we were there for that, but we had some technical issues. So
you don't get to see me demoing all the safety equipment
and us showing off all our merchandise.
Exactly.
But oh well, you'll hear it, you'll see the slides. Bear with us. All the information, all the content is there. And thanks for your patience.
Welcome to the first ever Odyssey Relay 101 webinar. Some of you are watching this live and others will be watching it later. Thanks to everyone for your time and for your interest in learning more about the Reno Tahoe Odyssey Relay Run Adventure, the Capital Odyssey Relay Run Adventure, and the Comstock Odyssey Relay Run Adventure. I'm Eric LaRue. My wife Stephanie and I founded the RTO, and we are the owners of this unusual running event. I am also the race director and the chief schlepper, so it's not that glamorous of a position, really. The RTO has been a passion of mine since 2003 when we started putting it together, and it was 2005 that we put on the first RTO. We've been doing it every year since then, and I'm very proud of it, and myself and our team work very hard on it year-round to make sure it's a great event for all of you. I am joined tonight by Kelly Corrigan, Race 178's Director of Marketing and Sponsor and Runner Relations. Kelly has been with Race 178 since 2015. Kelly has actually run in the RTO, what, 3 times? No,
3 times.
3 times. I've never run in it. Kelly has, so we have that working for us. Kelly handles a ton of details. She's probably communicated with you about your team data and getting you ready for this grand running adventure. Also with us is Sheena Britschke Evans. Sheena is our a key member of our Race 178 team, and she is our technical advisor helping us put this webinar together. First time ever again. We know that a number of you are not Reno Sparks residents. We know that you can't get to our Relay 101s in person, so that's why we are putting together this webinar. Again, it's our first time, so bear with us if we have any technical issues. All right, well, let's talk about what's going to happen next year. We can't possibly cover everything about the Reno Tahoe Odyssey and our other relays in about a 45-minute session. We can talk about it for hours. So during the webinar, you may contact us with questions. After the webinar, please email us or call us. We're going to provide our contact information at the end of the webinar, so you'll know how to reach Kelly and myself or Joanne Gibson, who is our master of volunteers. So that information will be provided at the end of the webinar. The runner's handbook has been posted. It is on the website. There's a big button right there on the front page, main page of the website. So click on that. The runner's handbook has tons of information. Please read it from back to front. Read it frequently. It's got all the information you need in great detail. Okay, so our plan for the Relay 101 webinar is we're going to cover the following topics. 1, the basics. 2, some critical rules. 3, key tips. 4, getting ready for the event. 5, surviving the relay. And 6, tips for ultra teams. Ultra teams are teams of 6 or less runners. So let's begin. The basics. We have put on the website and also now in the handbook a bunch of information to help you get a better understanding and get ready. We have what are called relay guidelines. We have tips. We even have a checklist under the handbook, on the website. It's under the planning tab. So take a look at those different documents. We just try to give you all this information in a variety of ways to keep your attention. All right, let's do an overview of the event. So what we have here on the screen is a map of the entire RTO course. 36 legs, those aren't 36 miles. 36 legs, 178 miles, and that is the entire RTO course. Now, as for the Capital Odyssey, it starts in Carson City on leg 25, and it is the last 12 legs of the RTO course. The Comstock Odyssey starts in Virginia City on leg 31. It is the last 6 legs of the RTO course. So the Capital and Comstock Odysseys will join the RTO in progress. So if you're running those 2 events, when you go to start, you won't be by yourself for long, if at all. You'll actually be right in the middle of all the RTO teams who will be coming by. So it'll get really crowded really fast. Just a couple things about some course changes for this year. We have new legs on 2 and 3 because we had to move the exchange point at the end of leg 2. And we have revised legs 9 and 18. So we have new maps of those legs. Please take a look at them so you are up to date on the course changes for this year. Okay, so let's talk about runners and how this works. So for the RTO, each team has 12 runners, or most teams have 12 runners. Actually, not all teams have 12 runners. If you're really smart, you'll have 12 runners because then you'll get the maximum amount of rest. Each runner will run 3 legs for each of the legs, or each team will run 3 legs, each runner will run 3 legs. And you'll stay in your order ideally. So runner 1 will run leg 1, 13, and 25, and so forth. If you have less runners, then you run more legs and more miles. So it's a bigger challenge. For a 12-person RTO team, you will have 2 vans you'll divide into. One is the running van, the other is the resting van. The running van contains the 6 runners who are running those 6 legs. The resting van goes ahead to the next van exchange point and waits for the running van to meet it there. And then they do a handoff, and the running van becomes a resting van, and the resting van becomes the running van. And that process continues through the event, including through the night. And those logistical challenges are all part of the fun of the event. Now, for the Capital and the Comstock, most Capital teams, because it's a 12-league event, they have 3 to 6 runners. Comstock, again, between 3 and 6 runners. For those 2 relays, we just want you in one vehicle if you can just be in one vehicle. All right, we have given you a course information table that is posted on the website. And that is a chart that helps you figure out your lineup for your team. We do not need that information. You set up your lineup according to your runner's abilities. We've ranked the groups of legs. We advise you, strongly encourage you to please assign your most capable and experienced runners to the toughest set of legs. Look at this chart. The toughest set of legs is the set of legs for runner number 7. You can see the number 1 over on the far right side, the ranking. So you want to have a very experienced runner, a talented runner, someone who's run a lot, running the leg 7 set of legs. And leg 4 is the toughest leg on the course. So you also want to have a experienced runner running leg 4. So you set up your lineup according to the abilities of your teammates. So a few things that happen during the event. Yes, you are going to be tracking your time. In relays, you can do it. You can do it in a more electronic, more technological way. But we like for everybody to use a good old-fashioned clipboard with a running watch. We will give you a time log. You will put everyone's name in here. You will keep track of time throughout the event. We'll collect this time log at the finish line. So we, of course, know when you'll start. We will know when you finish. So we'll also be tracking your time. But part of the fun is just keeping it yourself. You'll be handing off your clipboard at the van exchange points to the other van when the resting van becomes a running van and vice versa. Don't turn off your watch during the event. That is, you don't want to do that. But of course, if you do, it'll be okay. But that's part of the fun, is making sure your running watch keeps going for the entire time. Also, we do have you hand off a baton. We used to have you carry a really big stick, but we didn't think that was fair to do. So we have discovered and come up with what we call a slap band. And this is what you'll be handing off at the exchanges. You'll one runner will give this to the next runner.
Like this.
Like that. The good news is, if you lose your slap band, you're not disqualified. Keep running. It doesn't really matter. This is just something else to keep you all busy. One more thing to worry about and think about during the event. But if you lose your slap band, it doesn't really matter. Just keep running. Just high five at the exchange points, whatever works for you, and we will see you at the finish line. Okay, so that is that. Cell phones. Everybody should have their cell phones because your van 1 will be calling van 2, resting van calling running van, especially as you're heading into those exchange points, those van exchange points. If you're running fast, running slow, you want to let your other van know so they can spend a little bit more time at Starbucks or having dinner or whatever they're doing, or maybe sleeping in the middle of the night. There's nothing like calling your teammates who are sleeping in the middle of the night and telling them, you'll be at the next exchange in about 20 minutes, and you guys better get out of bed and meet us at the exchange point. So make sure your cell phones are fully charged. Make sure you have your car charged, ready to go. Okay, let's talk about night running for a second. That is a big part of this event. So the adult slumber party part. So you need to be dressed up like the best Christmas tree that you can be dressed up as. And in order to do that, you're going to want to have lights on. You're going to want to have lights on your front, on your headlamp. You could carry a flashlight, good old-fashioned flashlight, some white light going forward to help you seeing going forward. And on your back side, on your back of your hat, wherever, flashing lights. Kelly's got flashing lights.
I don't have any on my back right now.
Doesn't have any right
I
now.
will though when race
They
time
actually
comes.
have some of these reflective vests that have the red lights embedded into them. Those are really spiffy, really cool. So that's great if you can get some of those. When it comes to the running vests, Kelly's wearing a very fashionable one, very nice one. However, big old ones are fine. Our big bulky ones, we want the more reflective stuff, the better. The more reflective stuff, the better. Here's one from our sister relay on the East Coast, our American Odyssey Relay. We created these. Bob Fletcher, my business partner back there, decided we would do running vests as swag one year. So maybe you even have an American Odyssey vest. So make sure you check your night gear that it's working. My flashlight right now is not working. Good to find this out on May 4th, but bad to find this out on the night of June 2nd, on the night of the relay. This one isn't working either. So get your batteries in there, get your night gear ready to go. Don't wait till then to find out that things aren't working. They make all kinds of different accessories these days.
And I'm going to chime in here just to backtrack to Tad, Eric. As far as tracking your time, we do have a Race 178 app that you guys are going to be able to download for free. That does not replace the timing log. That is purely for fun. You'll get more information about that as we get closer. But it's that's purely for fun. But your friends and family can watch where you are. You guys can track where your competition is and everything. So, but that's in addition to your actual log.
Yeah, that's purely for entertainment value. Don't rely on that. Just keep your own time. We'll be doing the same thing. And anyway, all right. So the event is not just about running, believe it or not, because for the RTO, if you're on a 12-person team, you're going to run 3 legs, and you'll be riding along in a van for 33 legs. So what is this all about, you say? Well, we have a lot of really fun contests, such as best team name. That every team is entered into the best team name contest right from the start. And you've probably already noticed if you've been browsing the start times list, the start times are posted. If you've been browsing and looking at the official team list, there are a lot of very funny names. And at the captain's meeting the night before the relay, the RTO, we will go down and do a top 10 countdown and reveal the best team name. We also have best decorated van contests, best shirt contest. You'll see teams showing up with their customized shirts made up for their teams. We have a best costumes contest. I don't know that everyone runs the entire time in their costumes, but they'll show up at the start, they'll be in the finish, and they'll probably be sporting their costumes throughout throughout the relay. We have a catch-all category, which is our most spirited team category. We actually have the runners vote on that because we don't see everything that's going on out there. So we have a most spirited team competition. We also have a most spirited exchange point competition, which is something for the volunteers at all the exchange points. You will be blown away by the enthusiasm of the volunteers at some of the exchanges. They'll be having their own party, a themed party like wedding night or prom night. The volunteers will be dressed up in tuxedos and gowns. And yes, they'll be doing their job tracking you guys as you go through, but they'll also be having a lot of fun. So we have a most spirited exchange point contest. And for this event, we have something unusual. We have an individual time trial. We call it Donner's Downfall. It is on leg 4, which is sponsored by Shields. And that is the longest leg of the course, is 8 miles. We have a timer at the start, we have a timer at the finish, and we will track everyone's time for those runners who run that leg. We will have those results at the finish line on Saturday. The fastest man will get a great prize. The fastest woman will get a great prize. And whoever gets 178th place will also get a great prize. So you may not be able to win the thing, but maybe you'll end up in 178th place we have about 240 something teams, so 240 runners or so will be running that leg for.
And I just want to chime in also, the best, the most spirited team and the most spirited exchange point, you guys as runners are going to be voting for those. So each team is going to get 2 ballots, one for each van. Because each van sees a whole different set of runners out there, you know, just based on, you know, the legs that they're running. So you guys will get a chance to weigh in on who's being supportive out there, because there are definitely times when, you know, you've got some other teams spraying you down with water or giving you, you know, little snacks, or they've got goodies they're handing out. So you guys get a chance to vote for those too. And we expect, and we'll just get the ballots from you guys at the end of the race.
You'll turn in your ballots at the finish line, and you turn in your timesheet. That's when we give you your medals. Which reminds me, we also have great swag at the RTO. And as I'm taking a sip from my H2Go water bottle that's from the RTO, Kelly's sporting her big truck hat.
This is the part of the presentation we were doing, shameless promotion.
Shameless promotions.
Big truck hats, water bottles.
First of all, we give you a lot of great swag. Everyone's going to get a great race shirt. Everyone's going to get a great, what kind of bags are this year? They're the little ones on the back.
String backpacks.
Spring backpacks. You all get that. You obviously will all get a 178 decal. You see we have some here on the banner with our sponsors. You also, what else you get? Some people get bumper stickers for running leg 4, leg 30, leg 36, and there'll be another bumper sticker this year. I don't think we'll reveal that at this time. Stay tuned, but there'll be another bumper sticker for one of the other epic legs that is run. So those are things we just give away, along with the captain's glasses. All the captains get that. But we also have swag for sale, including the big truck hats. You can get a preview of what swag we have for sale. It's on the online store there on the website. So take a peek at that. We already have some people purchasing things. Feel free to do that. We'll try to turn around the orders, but we should have plenty of stuff for you at race time if you don't want to buy anything in advance. So, okay, that's fun stuff. Let's just briefly review the race week schedule, because people are like, where do we got to go? What do we got to do? So Thursday, June 1, we have the team check-in, 4:15 to 7:30 out at Legends, right outside of Shields, which is in Sparks. Just one person per team needs to check in for the team. All 12 of you do not have to be there to check in. At 7:35, we do have our captain's meeting. Again, one person per team needs to be there. We encourage everyone to be there. We will go over those last second course issues, like is the path on leg 11 underwater or not? And we will go over any other course issues that have come up. But we also have a lot of fun. We will reveal the top 10 names countdown. Sometimes it's top 20 because there's so many good ones. And we'll cover some other fun things too. So we like for at least one person per team to be there at the captain's meeting, right there where we do packet pickup, team check-in. That night, Thursday night, is when you want to go home and get a great night's sleep. So that's very important, because Friday this race starts, the RTO starts, that is. The teams are going to be starting between 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. on that Friday. It's a 9-hour window. We have seated you. We have listed the start times today, and fastest teams start last, slowest teams start first. And believe it or not, you may start at 7 a.m. and those teams that start at 4 p.m. will catch you and they will win. That's not too much of a gutsy call for me to say that now. So that's our start wave. Everybody's off by 4 p.m. Later that night is the adult slumber party part of the event. A lot of fun, and for many people, running that second leg in the nighttime is their most favorite part of the event. It is the most surreal, it is the most unusual, and it is something else to see with everyone all lit up like Christmas trees, lights, front, back, reflective, and it's a great scene out there on Friday night. Saturday morning, Capital Odyssey will start in Carson City, and the Comstock Odyssey will start on Saturday morning later in Virginia City. And we'll see you all back in Reno at the finish line. And we love you for all to be done by 4 p.m. We will go over that more. We've given you start times. We'll be adjusting start times for those who may be getting there too soon or may be getting there too late. We also have a couple other points along the course where we want to make sure you're not there too soon. That's leg 18, exchange point 18, and exchange point 24. But we'll be dealing with that. You'll see, you received our email today about start times. And if you have a problem with your start time, email me and we'll get it all straightened out. Okay, so that is basically the first part of our webinar. Now, the rest of it's gonna go quicker here. We don't have as much to talk about. We're not gonna go over as much stuff. Next section, critical rules. Yes, there are critical rules that we need you to follow. They are listed on the website and they are in the handbook. Please look at them, please follow them, please comply with them. We need you to do that in order for us to have this event every year, for us to keep our permits, for us to continue to get permission from these property owners who let us use their properties for exchange points. Page 12 of the handbook, we've actually given you a one-page summary of the most critical rules. So please look at page 12 of the handbook. The most challenging part of the course is along California State Route 89. Those are legs 9 through 16. We have a few extra rules for legs 9 through 16 along California State Route 89. Please pay particular attention to those, including the one that everyone needs to wear a vest. Doesn't matter if you get there at 3 in the afternoon, 4 in the afternoon, before it's dusk, before it's dark. When you're on California State Route 89, you need to have your vest on just for extra safety purposes. Okay, critical rules. Also, just briefly, want to talk about volunteer requirements. Yes, to put on this event, it takes a village, and we do need your help. We've reduced the volunteer requirements from 3 to 2. So for RTO teams that are 12-person teams, we have you each contribute 2 volunteers. If you're an ultra team, we just have you contribute 1 volunteer. If you're a Capital Odyssey team, we have you contribute 1 volunteer. And we don't require the Comstock Odyssey team to provide any volunteers. And if you can't provide those volunteers, we do have a fee system, $60 per volunteer. We need you to sign up those volunteers now. We are checking our volunteer logs. We are behind schedule. We do not have as many as we normally have at this point. So we'd much prefer to have you sign up volunteers than to send us money at this time to go find volunteers. So please sign up your volunteers today, tomorrow, because next week we'll go out and start twisting the bushes. You doing okay? All right. Okay, key tips. I'm gonna go over these real quick. There's a slide that's gonna come on the website. So let me just hit a few for you. Is you need to know the legs. You need to know your legs if you are running. Please get familiar with the legs. If you can go drive them in advance, please do so. If you can go run them in advance, please do so. If you don't live around here, please look at the map. I'm giving you detailed maps. But don't wait until Friday of the event to start to learn where do my legs go, because the odds are you'll make a wrong turn somewhere. And there's nothing worse than getting lost in a relay. It's no fun for you, and it's no fun for your teammates who are trying to find you, and it's no fun for the race director and our race crew who will end up trying to also find you. But we can only do so much. We're going to let you and your teammates try to find you. So know your legs. I can't say it enough. You need to be, the second one there is be attentive and alert. We are running on open roads. We have picked roads where that are less busy. We have picked times of the day and evening where they tend to be less busy, but nevertheless, there are other cars who are using the roads. There are trucks who are using the roads, and that's why we have a rule about not using any headphones from leg 8 through leg 32, because those are legs where you are on open roads in particular, and it's also nighttime legs. We need you to be fully aware and alert as to what's going on, hearing traffic around you, hearing wildlife that may be around you. We always have a bear or two who are sighted on our course. Don't be concerned about the bears. They're not out for you, usually out for the dumpsters. But you want to hear everything that's going on around you. Let me just talk about the third tip, staying in contact. When you are the running van and your teammate is running and you're the other 5 in that van, you want to stay relatively close to that runner. Now, you can't drive right alongside the runner because that causes traffic issues, but you can go park every half a mile and make sure they come by you, or every mile. You definitely want to be at the turns if your runner happens to be directionally challenged, and maybe he or she didn't look at their legs that well before they started to run their leg for the event. Be at those critical turns. We will have them marked with signs. And at nighttime, our signs will have flashing lights on them. But you cannot rely on our signs with our flashing lights, because people like to mess with them. They like to take them down and use them as souvenirs, or they like to just throw them away. So if you are only going to be relying on our signs, you're going to be in trouble. So the running vans can help their runners stay on course by being at those key turns or close to those key turns to make sure their runners are making those turns. And runners, carry your cell phone, carry your maps with you as backups to make sure you're staying on course.
And Eric, I'm going to chime in again, just to kind of add an experience here as far as being there for your runner. One of the years that I was on a team, we didn't get out of the exchange point quickly enough, and we didn't anticipate how fast our runner was running, and it was nighttime, and we must have yelled to every runner, "Is that you? Is that you? Is that you?" And he finished his leg before we even found him. And we had got a phone call from his girlfriend saying, "He's already passed the exchange point. You guys need to hurry up." So just, again, be there for your runner, get out as quickly as you can out of the exchange point. I know everybody, when you finish, you want to stretch and use the bathroom and everything, but just keep in mind your runner may be, hauling butt and really going quickly, but just, keep tabs on them and everything, so.
Most of these key tips are pretty self-explanatory. Let me just cover 4 real quick. When you finish as the running van and you become the resting van, please drive ahead to the next van exchange point, 6 legs ahead. Don't hang out where you just stop for too long. You want to drive 6 legs ahead and hang out there where you will eventually be running again. Because if your teammates call you and say, "We are way ahead of schedule," you want to be ready for them when they call you versus being 6 legs back. You'll never get to the place you need to be at to start your set of legs. So always drive ahead as when you finish as the running van and you become the resting van. Always drive ahead to the next van exchange point. No 20-foot long vehicles or longer. Some of our exchange points are only so big, so we don't want you showing up big RVs, big motorhomes, big long cars. Don't pull trailers. Don't do it. A caveat to that: we let RVs show up at exchange point 18 and exchange point 24. They can be there as sleeping quarters for their teams, but those vehicles shouldn't be driving down the course along Highway 89 on the west shore of Lake Tahoe. They can get to South Lake Tahoe, they can get to Carson City without driving along the roads we use. But the regular vehicles for the shuttles for the team should be less than 20 feet long. And rule 10, read the handbook. Read the handbook. Put it by your bed in the next month. Put it in the bathroom in the next month, and read.
And it's also really helpful to have a copy of the handbook and the legs in each van.
Not only helpful, but we highly suggest it. You should have a copy in each one, just in case the sets of maps are in there. We've got some great history stuff for those who care. but you should have a handbook in each. So you need to print that off. We don't print that for you. So have one in each van. Which leads to our very, very final key rule, the cardinal supreme top rule: no whining. That's right. This is not a 5K run walk in your local park. You've signed up for a relay run adventure, an Odyssey relay run adventure, the RTO 178 miles long. You need to be ready to deal with whatever comes up, and you need to forge ahead, and you need to get to that finish line where you're going to celebrate your huge accomplishment as a team. There's nothing better than getting a relay done and celebrating it with your team. But in the meantime, no whining. Please, no whining. For the American Odyssey one year, the team that won the best team van, they put a couple lawn chairs up on top of the roofs, and they had a sign there that said, "For whiners." That's where the whiners got to sit. We don't like whiners. And if you have whiners on your team now, you may want to find a way to
put them all in the same van.
Put them all in the same van, or maybe just have them not be runners in your team, and maybe they can support you in some other way. So.
But I bet you guys can turn them around. It's a fun time.
No whining. Okay, so let's just briefly talk about getting ready. I'm just going to say train, train, train. You need to be trained for this event. Some people put this event on their bucket list, and then they show up and don't train, and then they have a miserable time because they are not in physically good shape to do it. And then it's no fun for you as the runner, and it's no fun for your teammates who are looking at this person saying, wow, person didn't even show up to train at all. So please train, train, train. Do some practice running at night. Get out there with your nighttime gear, try it on before you do the event. Run some 2-a-days. What's a 2-a-day? That means run one time in the morning and then run early afternoon, because that's what's going to happen for this event. That's one of the toughest things about a relay, is not that you just run one time, but that you run 3 times and give your body some chances to get used to the idea of running and then resting a long time, and then running and then resting a long time, and then running, and doing that on little sleep. And it's a blast, but you can try to practice that. We have one last practice run this Sunday coming up on Lake 7. Come join us. We sent out some information about that. We've got training plans on the website, so please look at them, provided by Lauren Evans from Physio. Great training plans. We have them both for the RTO, at the Capital, Comstock Odyssey. The bottom line is you want to be physically prepared and you want to be mentally prepared, knowing your legs and having some clue as to how this whole thing works. If you are physically and mentally prepared, you're going to have a great, great time. Surviving the relay. So now you're in the relay. We could talk about this for an hour, so I'm not even going to get into this in much detail. You want to stay warm and dry. Usually have a change of clothes. A new set of dry running clothes for each of your legs. Put your wet, sweaty stuff in a Ziploc bags or something. Try to do a little bit of warming up before you start your leg. Try to do a little bit of stretching and foam rolling after you run your leg. You don't have a lot of time there because you're constantly moving along. But when you are the resting van, you have a lot more time. So take care of yourself out there. If you can dip your legs in Lake Tahoe or in the Truckee River in the cold body water, that should be helpful to you as well. As for what to eat and when to eat, we could talk about that forever. You probably want to eat simple foods, unless you got a steel gut and you don't mind having a burrito or a big piece of pizza at 10 o'clock at night, or a cheeseburger. I mean, some people can handle different things. Some vans share all their stuff in one big cooler. Other vans, each one has their own separate cooler. It all depends on your stomach and what you can tolerate. You'll be grazing throughout the event. And don't forget to hydrate, 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 because it will be warm and you want to make sure you are properly fueled to get to the event.
And I would just say, emphasize what Eric's telling you. Every team has a different strategy. Every band has a different strategy. You'll want to make sure you talk, if you have not done this before, talk to your captain, talk to people in your van, and what are you going to do? Are you all bringing your own food? Are you going to have group food? Are you going to spend, the night? Are you not? How are you going to how do you tackle the whole thing? So like I said, every team's got a different strategy. There's no right or wrong. Everybody finds what works for them. If anybody needs some tips, give us a call or email us, and we'll give you that information at the end as well. But anyhow, just talk to your captains.
Highly recommended to get a nap in there. Get an hour or two goes a long way. The good news is if you're on a slow team, you're going to get more rest time in between. If you're on a fast team, you don't get as much rest in between. If you guys get a motel room or a hotel room at the South Lake Tahoe area or Carson City, you can all get a little sleep in there. Taking a shower after your second leg is great. It's, just one way to get a little bit more refreshed. Some people will just sleep on the parking lot, and they won't take a shower. And some people won't sleep, like Pete Parker. So everybody does it differently, and there's many ways to find success. Okay, speaking of crazy
be
people.
Careful of the Bloody Marys up in Virginia City.
Oh, don't drink too many of those. Only one per person, please, and do not drive if you had a Bloody Mary. Not recommended to have a Bloody Mary if you are still needing to run the lake. Okay, let's talk about tips for ultra teams. We have a very good friend, EJ Maldonado from Carson City, who is a very experienced RTO runner. He has run so many RTOs that now he just runs them as an ultra team member because that's more exciting for him and he likes bigger challenges. EJ last year prepared a great 2-page handout for us on tips for how to run the RTO as an ultra team. We have posted that on the handbook, posted on the website. It's also in the handbook. So take a look at that for all you ultra team runners out there who maybe don't have as much as experience running as an ultra. Some great tips there. All right, well, that brings us to the end of this webinar. So if we did not get to your question tonight, or if you need additional information, or if you have additional questions as you're preparing for the relay, please email myself, Eric at race178.com, or you can email Kelly at kelly@race178.com. Our information is right there. It's also on the website.
And for those who are on the phone, it's ERIC, Eric, and
Yes.
KELLY, Kelly. So
race178, RACE178.com. If you have a volunteer specific question, you can email Joanne Gibson, who is our superstar volunteer coordinator for the RTO, another key member of our race staff, at Joanne, JOANNE, at race178.com, or you can email me. So there's some ways to get a hold of us. I will attend team parties, but there has to be pizza and beer, so keep that in mind. Let's see, do we have any questions that we need to deal with?
I think we got them.
Nobody's firing away, or you've answered
Just
that?
a few I've got.
All right.
There was a question about changing team names, and you can still do that probably just, I would say, in the next week, but then we start running.
We start printing all these
reports.
things.
Yeah.
If you want to change your team name, please do it by Monday. We've given you months and months and months, and we need you to have your name by Monday. So if you want to change team.
And start time, if you want to request a change in start time, Eric?
Perfectly fine. We change a lot of start times. We want you to feel comfortable with your start time. We want you to not get too early to the end of leg 18 and not too early to the end of leg 24. And we want you to get to the finish line between 11 and 4 when there's a party going on. It's a lot more fun. I've been at the finish line at 7 o'clock at night. We keep the arch up. Everyone else is gone, and I greet that last team. But it's not that. This is not a 2-night relay. It's a 1-night relay. It's Friday night, not Saturday night. So email me, Eric at Race178, if you have a concern about your start time and when you're going to finish, and we'll get it figured out in advance of the event happening.
And Eric, there's something for everybody at the finish line in addition to the vendors and things that are going to be there?
Yep, this year everyone's going to get a beer, and from Sierra Nevada Brewing Company, one of our official sponsors, and the official beer. So we'll have a line for that. Everyone's going to have a beer tag attached to their race bib, and you can go turn that in, and you get a Sierra Nevada Brewing Company can of beer at that station. We will also have kegs of beer and cups of beer at our regular station being manned by Men Wielding Fire and Buenos Grill. Some of you will be getting some complimentary lunches if you're a captain or if you were in the first 25 teams who signed up, which we appreciate you doing that. So any other questions?
Nope.
All right. So in closing, let me just tell you that a relay is the most fun you can have running. The RTO has been around a long time. This will be our 13th year. We are one of the most established relays in the country. So you're going to have a blast. And we want to thank all the companies and organizations who are our sponsors. You can see their logos here on this banner. We list them in our handbook. We have their logos and names on our website with links to their websites. Please patronize our sponsors. We couldn't put on the event without them. Thanks to all the volunteers who will help us put on this big event. It takes, like I said, a big group of people to do it, and we appreciate your help with that part of it. And I want for joining us tonight and for running in our races. We couldn't put on the races if no runners showed up. It's a lot more fun when runners show up. So thank you for your support, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Kelly. Thanks, Sheena.